The trail bike, the workhorse to every mountain biker's stable, and often the only horse in their stable. They are dependable, versatile, and can pretty much do everything from epic rides to bike park laps. But what is the ultimate trail bike? A mountain bike?
Or the latest generation of genre-defining e-mountain bikes? With the new Giant Trance X Advanced E Plus Elite, has the question shifted from e-bike simply to bike? So today I'm going head to head with Blake. Thanks to Giant for supplying the bikes. You're riding the mountain bike, I'm riding the e-bike.
Yeah.
We're going to go for a fun ride in the woods and throw in some challenges along the way.
Oh, some fun challenges, Neil.
Yeah,
fun.
It's going to be really fun, but there'll be some racing as well.
Fun challenges, Neil.
Yeah, I'm racing.
Fun
Racing. I've got an idea though. Let's start with a drag race up this hill.
Flippin' watch this.
See what your watts are like, big man, against my e-watts.
Yeah, I'm keen.
This bike's actually got launch control.
Launch control.
You can choose how fast it picks up.
Gee.
You ready?
Steady. Go.
It's closer than I thought.
This is the mountain bike, the ultimate trail bike. Now, what makes a trail bike? Well, its versatility to pretty much do whatever you wanted to do. You can go on bikepacking trips, epic rides. You can go and race enduro on it. You can ride some really gnarly, rough descending stuff. You can hit up the bike parks. Is what we like to call the Swiss Army knife of the mountain biking world. Now, arguably, the 29er is all about that. Now, I'm riding the Giant Trance Advanced Pro 29er, so 29-inch wheels front and rear. This is the all-new carbon fiber frame with adjustable geo, so letting the rider decide on what they want that suits them. Now, it has a 120 mil of travel on the rear, and it boasts 130 mil of travel on the fork on the front. Now, this is where it gets interesting. When you want to change the geo, here are some numbers. The head angle can be 65.6 or 66.2. The seat angle can be 76.3 or 77. Now, if you go for the large frame, the reach can be 472 or 480. So that is all the numbers, and it all depends on what you like on your trail bike. Now, Giant boasts the Maestro 4-pivot suspension. Now, talking about the suspension on this bike, this is Fox Live Valve, which is an electronically controlled system that controls the suspension on your bike as the terrain changes with these sensors right here. Within milliseconds, it can adjust your suspension, your fork, and your rear shock. Now, this electronically controlled suspension system has kind of come across from the power sports industry, where you need all that suspension to change at high speeds. I think it's pretty cool. Now, with this suspension, it can all be done on the fly, or you can download the mobile app and you can do it via that. You can adjust it to whatever profile you want. You can save profiles and just install it and just change it by using your mobile app. Right, with all this Fox Live Valve system, this over here is the brains to the whole system. So it's not a multi-tool, it is the brains to all of this. Now, a nice cool feature about this bike is this beautiful little bit of ingenuity here, which is basically a snack or spares, tools, whatever. You can store it in this nice little neoprene bag to stop all the rattles. You can even store a banana in there. I love bananas. So overall, we've got some nice aggressive tires front and rear. Talk about aggressive, the brakes on this are Shimano Dior XT 4-pot, so they are quite aggressive. I've got my nice Crank Brothers Stamp 7s here with a nice blue detail to match my GMBN blue mudguard. Pretty much everything I need in one incredible package to smash Neil out the water.
All right, well, I out-dragged you.
Well, you can't just beat me.
You once beat me in a drag race on a downhill bike.
Yeah.
But I beat you that time.
Well, you need.
So it's time for the first challenge, a climbing challenge, because as the old saying goes, what goes up must come down.
It's very true, yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
So to the top of the hill, I don't fancy chances, dude.
No,
So I'm going to take the direct route, the more fun way, actually. I've got a nice little cool techie trialsy way up the hill.
Well, I'm going to do the fire road and get the miles in, Neil, and try and beat you.
Well, I've got 400% assist.
400%?
So, you know, you give it 100%.
Give me a head start. 3,
2, 1.
Dropping in, up and in, up and in.
Up in. Wow.
Come on, save my soul.
Oh man, I shouldn't have gone hard at the start. What am I racing an e-bike for? Oh, he's going that way.
A victory wheelie. No Zimbabwean rugby players in sight. I have a feeling I know how this day is going to go. All right, challenge 2, let's go.
Hey on Neil. Oh, here we go. Let's go.
So this is my Giant Trance X Advanced E Plus Elite, and this is a proper trail bike. It's a 140mm rear travel, 150 up front, carbon frame with adjustable geometry. I think that hits the trail bike numbers right on the head. Interestingly, it's also got a 29er front wheel, 27.5 rear, mixed wheel sizes, but it's the battery cell technology that really stands this bike apart. Its power to weight ratio has already been shown off with the drag race and my win in the climbing challenge, but this is the lightest full power e-bike on the market. So this bike weighs 18.8 kilograms in the medium size. That's 4 kilograms lighter than the previous generation. And it's all down to this Energy Pack 400 battery in this down tube. Basically using higher volume cells means you can use half as many, and that weighs 2.3 kilograms. It's basically half the weight of the battery on the previous model of this bike. The battery is also CO2 neutral, so Giant are the first manufacturer to use a carbon neutral battery factory. Something that normally holds back lighter power e-bikes is the batteries. Basically, you have to reduce the power output so you don't burn through the battery so quick. That's not the case with this. You've got this sync drive motor developed with Yamaha, gives you 85 Newton meters of torque. Got some really clever tech on this bike. You've got smart assist technology with 6 sensors over the bike to sort of vary the power over different type of terrain to give you an adaptive support mode. You've got more sensors because actually you've got this super clever Fox live valve suspension. More about that later. You've got this super integrated ride control go button on your top tube. Use that to turn the bike on and off, but also if you want to, you can use that to go through your power modes, and that's all you really need. But you can add the Ergo 3 control up on the bar. Also super integrated, 3-button control of the bike, but yeah, really subtle control in this bike. The geometry of the bike, you do have that flip chip there, so super easy to switch the bike in to bias it for climbing a bit more or descending. In the lower setting like it is now, you have a head angle of 65.8, seat tube angle of 76. If you want to steepen it up, make it climb a bit better, it'll go up to 66.5 head angle and 76.7. On the seat tube angle, chainstay length of 447mm. The reach on these bikes is around 460 for a medium, around 480 plus on a large. Does depend on the flip chip a little bit. Got some very fancy contact SLR bars on here. It's a one-piece carbon bar and stem. Seen those before, but this is different. This is adjustable, so you can actually change this same bar and stem to 40, 45 or 50mm stem length using some spacers and shims inside. You can also change the roll, the angle of these bars, doing the same. Super lightweight, 255 grams, as are the wheels. These are the Zip Moto carbon wheels. Most carbon wheels can be really stiff, a little bit harsh. These are designed to have what they call ankle flex, so really compliant carbon wheels. More fancy kit on this bike, it's got the Fox live valve, electronically damped suspension on this bike, same as Blake's actually. So I've never ridden this before, quite excited to try it out. So it's got sensors, accelerometers, you can see some of these wires on the bike. And using my phone app, I can actually sort of give it a base setting. You can have 5 different ones, or you can get user uploaded settings. Basically, the sky's the limit. You set your bike and then it knows what you're doing, all these sensors. So when I'm climbing, it'll start firming it up, and as soon as I start riding downhill or start putting some input into the bike, it will open the suspension up. The bonus on this bike is actually I don't even have to charge an extra battery. This is powered from the e-bike battery. Even more technology, you can use Giant's Ride Control Go app to customize your bike, diagnose it. You can choose what buttons do what on the bar. You can also choose how effective each 5 of the support modes are. So changing how much power they give you and how much torque. You can even get into that launch control, so you can have full torque come in. If you have it controlled, you can have it in 2.5 seconds, or if you want max torque straight away, you can make it super aggressive and it'll come in milliseconds. All right, let's catch Blake up and beat him with someone else. Not that it's a competition or anything, but...
Right, Neil, I felt my lungs after that treacherous climb, trying my hardest to catch you.
Tasting blood?
Yeah, trying my hardest. Let's go downhill, Neil.
Down, I like it. Race time.
No, these are not downhill bikes, Neil. These are trail bikes, all about having fun.
Fun. Go fast is fun. Any bike's downhill bike, try, isn't it?
Like it, right. I'm going in front just to slow you down.
Come on then.
Up and in here. Woohoo!
So it's a bit muddy in the woods at the moment.
Oh, typical British weather, Neil, that is. Typical British
What
weather.
we're saying, Daniel, this feels great. Like, it doesn't feel like a heavy e-bike. It's still planted. It's got good tyres, actually. Yeah. And actually, where I messed up a few times, so slippy, the way it picks up so quick with like half a crank, because I couldn't have time to get a full one, half a crank, and I'll be like, zoop, straight back up to back wheel again. Oh. Really good. Yeah. Yours?
This, like you, got good grip front and rear. Nice, it's got grip there. But also the live valve, like with the preset that I've left it on, being it if it's a climb or a comfort or a sport, like coming off the gnarly stuff onto the flat surface to climb to the top, clicks in and flap in, just back to the top.
I kind of forgotten about it. I actually got 20mm more travel than you as well, but feels totally planted. So should we do some jumps?
Yeah, I like jumping, Neil. Let's go and do some jumps.
Well, thrashing these bikes down the hill was really good fun, and actually between us we couldn't decide who had the best bike, so let's say 1 point each.
Neil, any excuse to get my bike up into the air is something I absolutely love. And now the trail bike being lightweight, I can manipulate it way more in the air.
But I actually think for like a novice to intermediate jumper, I think an e-bike's really good. They're not going to like buck you wildly. Whereas if you're a, you know, a Nitro Circus, Travis Pastrami, extreme sick dude, then it's probably not as good. Right, what about proper epic rides, Blake? You know, we're not going to do one today, it's too wet.
No, it's horrible today, disgusting.
But as we said, trail bikes have got to be able to do the stuff we're doing, having a good day out, but also do some big, you know, big weekend, go for a couple of long rides. I guess the e-bike, you know, I've been riding it on full power all day actually.
All day.
You know, I would get much better mileage if I dropped down to eco or that active mode. So I could do some bit of bike packing, some epic rides, but I'm always going to be limited to my battery capacity, I guess.
Definitely limited. Whereas this, you could go on forever and ever and ever. You could do miles and miles, sleep in a tent, not worry about charging. Apart from yourself needs a charge.
Yeah, super versatile. And according to our very simple way of scoring this video, your bike has taken the title of the ultimate trail bike.
Told you.
3-2. not that surprised, but I have really enjoyed riding this e-bike, so I'm a little bit gutted that I've lost because it's been really good. And let's not forget that as good as your bike is, there's a bit of a barrier to entry. To get the most out of the bike, you've got to be pretty fit.
Yeah, I agree. You've got to have some sort of fitness.
And that's what's really good about e-bikes, is it just opens the door to mountain biking to a lot more people, I think.
I agree with you, Neil. I agree. Let us know what kind of bike would you take on, or what bike you have now.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about buying an e-mountain bike as your next trail bike.